Companion cite to They Knew, the U.S. federal government's 50-year role in causing the climate crisis. By James Gustav Speth. In 2018, Gus Speth prepared much of the text for They Knew as his expert report for the Children's Constitutional Climate Lawsuit, Juliana v. United States. As is often the case in federal court litigation, his expert report referred to exhibits that were to be used at trial in the Juliana litigation consisting mainly, but not entirely, of government documents stretching from Presidents Johnson through Trump. Select exhibits and other documents cited in They Knew can be accessed on this page, organized by chapter. Defendants' actions on the national energy system over the past several decades are, in my view, the greatest dereliction of civic responsibility in the history of the Republic. And it is worse today than ever. This shocking historical conduct, government malfeasance on a grand scale, has left current and future generations enormously vulnerable to substantial danger. Gus Speth, They Knew. The Speth Expert Report for Juliana v. United States 1. Climate Science Knowledge the Carter Administration Inherited 2. Jimmy Carter Administration, 1977 to 1981, 3. Ronald Reagan Administration, 1981 to 1989, 4. George H. W. Bush Administration, 1989 to 1993, 5. William J. Clinton Administration, 1993 to 2001, 6. George W. Bush Administration, 2001 to 2009, 7. Barack Obama Administration, 2009 to 2017, 8. Donald J. Trump Administration, 2017 to 2020, 9. Conclusion. Council on Environmental Quality. Environmental Quality, the first annual report of the Council on Environmental Quality together with the President's message to Congress. Washington, D.C., August 1970. David, Edward E. Jr. Memorandum for Peter Flanagan. October 20, 1970. Dubridge, Lee. Memorandum to John Ehrlichman, Recommendation to Pursue Non-Conventional Vehicle Development. December 19, 1969. Energy Policy and Conservation Act of 1975, Pub. L. 94 to 163, 89 Stat. 871. Hamill, Edward F. Los Alamos Scientific Laboratory Energy-Related History, Research, Managerial Reorganization Proposals, Actions Taken, and Results, 1945 to 1979. March 1997. Monroe, Rob. The History of the Keeling Curve. April 3, 2013. Moynihan, Daniel P. Memorandum to John Ehrlichman. September 17, 1969. National Science Foundation, Report on International Geophysical Year, Hearings before the Subcommittee of the Committee on Appropriations. 85th Congress. May 1, 1957. National Science Foundation. Weather and Climate Modification, Report of the Special Commission on Weather Modification. 1965. Nixon, Richard. Annual Message to the Congress on the State of the Union. January 22, 1970. Nixon, Richard. Letter to Lee Dubridge, Director, Office of Science and Technology. November 20, 1969. Office of Science and Technology. Responses of the federal departments and agencies to the President's Science Advisory Committee report, Restoring the Quality of Our Environment. May 1967. Office of Science and Technology, Energy Policy Staff. Funding Energy Research and Development. August 26, 1970. Roberts, Sam. Edward E. David Jr., who elevated science under Nixon, dies at 92. New York Times, February 28, 2017. Scripps Institution of Oceanography. The Keeling Curve. U.S. Department of Commerce et al. World Weather Program, Plan for Fiscal Year 1971. April 1970. Excerpt. U.S. Department of Commerce. The Automobile and Air Pollution, a Program for Progress. Report of the Panel on Electrically Powered Vehicles. Washington, D.C., 1967. Excerpt. White House. The Restoring the Quality of Our Environment, Report of the Environmental Pollution Panel of the President's Science Advisory Committee. Washington, D.C., November 1965. Back to top. Barney, Gerald O., Edition Global 2000, The Report to the President, Entering the 21st Century. 1980, reissued in 1988. Carter, Jimmy. Address to the Nation on Energy and National Goals, The Malaise Speech. July 15, 1979. Carter, Jimmy. Golden, Colorado Remarks at the Solar Energy Research Institute on South Table Mountain. May 3, 1978. Carter, Jimmy. National Energy Program Fact Sheet on the President's Program. April 20, 1977. Carter, Jimmy. Outer Continental Shelf Lands Act Amendments of 1978 Statement on Signing S.9 into Law. September 18, 1978. Carter, Jimmy. Second Environmental Decade Remarks at the 10th Anniversary Observance of the National Environmental Policy Act, Earth Day, and several federal agencies. February 29, 1980. Carter, Jimmy. Solar Energy Message to the Congress. June 20, 1979. Carter, Jimmy. The State of the Union Annual Message to the Congress. January 16, 1981. Climate Research Board, National Research Council. Carbon Dioxide and Climate, a Scientific Assessment. Washington, D.C., National Academy of Sciences, 1979. Council on Environmental Quality. Environmental Quality 1977, the 8th Annual Report of the Council on Environmental Quality. Washington, D.C., December 1977. Council on Environmental Quality. Environmental Quality 1980, the 11th Annual Report of the Council on Environmental Quality. Washington, D.C., December 1980. Council on Environmental Quality. Environmental Quality, the 9th Annual Report of the Council on Environmental Quality. Washington, D.C., December 1978. Council on Environmental Quality. Environmental Quality, the 10th Annual Report of the Council on Environmental Quality. Washington, D.C., 1979. Council on Environmental Quality. Global Energy Futures and the Carbon Dioxide Problem. Washington, D.C., January 1981. Council on Environmental Quality. Solar Energy, Progress and Promise. Washington, D.C., April 1978. Council on Environmental Quality. The Good News About Energy. Washington, D.C., 1979. Council on Environmental Quality and U.S. Department of State. Global Future, Time to Act. Washington, D.C., January 1981. Department of Energy Organization Act of 1977, Pub L, 95-91, 91 Stat 565. Hansen, James, et al. Target Atmospheric CO2, Where Should Humanity Aim? Open Atmospheric Science Journal 2, 2008 217-231. McDonald, Gordon, et al. The Long-Term Impact of Atmospheric Carbon Dioxide on Climate. Technical Report JSR 78-07. SRI International, April 1979. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Trends in Atmospheric Carbon Dioxide, Mauna Loa CO2 Annual Mean Data. National Research Council. Energy and Climate, Studies in Geophysics. Washington, D.C., National Academy of Science, 1977. Oakes, John B. For Reagan, A Ticking Ecological Time Bomb. New York Times, January 20, 1981. Press, Frank. Memorandum to the President, Carbon Dioxide Increases. May 5, 1980. Press, Frank. Memorandum to the President, release of fossil CO2 and the possibility of a catastrophic climate change. July 7, 1977. Shadekoff, Philip. Scientists warn U.S. of carbon dioxide peril. New York Times, July 10, 1979. Shadekoff, Philip. U.S. calls for efforts to combat global environmental problems. New York Times, January 15, 1981. Shadekoff, Philip. U.S. study warns of extensive problems from carbon dioxide pollution. New York Times, January 14, 1981. Solar Energy Research, Development, and Demonstration Act of 1974. Pub. L. 93 to 473, 42 U.S.C. Section 5551. 1974. Stats, Elmer B., Comptroller General. U.S. Coal Development, Promises, Uncertainties. EMD 77, 43, Report to Congress. September 22, 1977. U.S. Department of Energy. Carbon Dioxide Effects Research and Assessment Program, Workshop on the Global Effects of Carbon Dioxide from Fossil Fuels. May 1979. U.S. Department of Energy. Summary of the Carbon Dioxide Effects Research and Assessment Program. July 1980. U.S. Energy Information Administration. Monthly Energy Review August 2020. 2020. U.S. Energy Information Administration. Monthly Energy Review May 2018. 2018. Woodwell, George M., Gordon J., McDonald, Roger Revelle, and C. David Keeling, The Carbon Dioxide Problem, Implications for Policy in the Management of Energy and Other Resources. A Report to the Council on Environmental Quality. July 1979, reprinted 2008. Back to top. Ball, William L., Assistant to the President. Letter to Senator Gore. May 28, 1986. Biello, David. Where did the Carter White House's solar panels go? Scientific American, August 6.